All right, cool. I want to be able to make a difference in the black community, but let me look back at everyone who's tried to make an actual difference in the black community, which the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, etc. All right, cool. What were they missing? What didn't they have? And there was two things that I
Mm,
discovered: money, one, and some type of economic infrastructure that was actually pushing them to be able to make changes. Like actual changes, economic changes in the black community. That's a lot of the problems that we have. And two, they didn't train replacements.
Primo, I just put my team on. I can probably justify having been on.
Yo, everyone, we're back with another episode of the Preem Pod. We have another remote interview. And I just, as always, want to start with just letting you, man, tell the people who you are, what you do, and why you do
Oh dang! All right,
it.
it's your boy. It's your boy
Yes, sir.
Jaivien Kendrick. I'm a senior HBCU student attending Bowie State University, and I'm well known for running my clothing brand, More Life. We're the number one clothing brand on Bowie State's campus. We've been able to work with some dope companies like NBA, the AT&T on Harlem Fashion Row. Been to some cool places like New York Fashion Week, and what's the other one? New York Fashion Week and NBA All Star Week in 2023. We were out there. We're about changing the culture in the black community. We feel like a lot of the things that's going on in the culture right now, especially for the youth, is not for the best. So we want to be able to change that not only through fashion, but being able to build a community of like-minded individuals to change that culture. So, yeah,
Man, that's a mouthful. That's a beautiful mouthful, though. So, okay,
fact.
walk me through like, okay, so now we have this clothing brand, and like, what's like you said, you're trying to change the culture. Like, what's the biggest goals we have this year?
For sure. This year's a good one, man. So I started this brand. At first, we were a brand called Awoken, and we were doing Zodiac clothing.
Mm,
And because I just thought that was a nice market, I was able to make some money in there. Like, all right, cool. This will be able to people will sell through these clothes quick, but
very trendy.
people wasn't buying nothing. So I was like, all
Wow.
right, well then, if I do something, then what am I gonna do that's actually gonna be beneficial?
Mm,
So that's when I decided to rebrand to More Life, and we've been doing that for about 2 years now. So this year, after I've been kind of learning how I want the brand to go, what I want it to be about, and the impact that we want to make, this year is about actually making that money so we can start doing the things that we want to do.
right.
So I'm really trying to start bringing in the revenue, really trying to figure out what content is going to resonate best with our target audience, what type of ads we need to run, and we have a product that we're selling. It's just pushing it out there and hopefully by the end of this year, dropping an actual tapestry collection because we focus on tapestry clothes. So tapestry hoodies, pants, all that good stuff is what we like to do.
So first is just get so now that we got it on like with the networking, getting it on like campus and being able to connect with them, walk me through the steps that you took to make that happen.
Oh, that's a good one, man. Way back in 2020 is when I started the brand. It After seeing everything with George Floyd, it really impacted me to understand like, all right, cool. I want to be able to make a difference in the black community, but let me look back at everyone who's tried to make an actual difference in the black community, which the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, etc. All right, cool. What were they missing? What didn't they have? And there was two things that I
Mm,
discovered: money, one, and some type of economic infrastructure that was actually pushing them to be able to make changes. Like actual changes, economic changes in the black community. Because a lot of the problems that we have. And two, they didn't train replacements. So I'm like, all right, well, if I can do those two things, then that'll be able to help me actually impact the black community in the proper way. I'm like, well, the first thing I need to do is make some money. And then the best way for me to make money is to be able to start a business. So that's why I ended up starting my brands. And when I rebranded to More Life, I ended up transferring from my school. I used to run track at a school in New Jersey called Stockton University as a PWI.
same.
Yeah. So man, I was running D3. I thought I was living my best life, but it wasn't fulfilling. So I was like, all right. So I was like, let me transfer to an HBCU. And as soon as I got here, like, I mean, literally didn't go to orientation, didn't do any of that. My parents, we were on vacation. They dropped me off afterwards. I moved in. I didn't know where to eat at. I didn't know where my classes was at. None of that. I was just like, look, man, I'm gonna figure it out. We gonna hustle and get to it. So I took those first 6 months, that first semester of school to really develop, finalize everything with the brand. Second semester, I launched it. That was 2022, I think I launched it. Yeah, winter 2022 or spring 2022. And yeah, I was just pushing content. 2 weeks, I was pushing content, three things a day. I was going around interviewing students. I was giving away hoodies because my head it was like, all right, cool. As long as people are seeing more life, more life, more life, more life in their faces when people walk around with hoodies, shirts, whatever, then they're gonna be like, okay, what is this? Who is this guy? So through that, I had two things on TikTok that blew up. One got like 60K, the other got like 70 something K. And that's when like people kind of started noticing me on campus, but it still wasn't anything too crazy. People just knew like, okay, oh, this is the more life guy. When it really started popping off when it was fall semester last year. So I think that's 2022, fall 2022.
Mhm.
So that is when everything kind of started going crazy. We got here, it was welcome week. I set up setting up my table because they were doing pop-up shops. So the whole event outside, it was DTLR. As soon as I put out my banner, because I was late, I never ended up not getting a spot, so I stole the table, put it out next to everyone else, and I was like, all right, let's do it. So, as soon as I put out my banner after setting up all my clothes, all you hear is, yo, it's the More Life guy. Whole crowd of people start dashing over to me. I made close to
Wow.
700 that day alone, just off
Wow.
of like selling
Yeah,
shirts and
that
stuff
felt
like that.
good.
And I was like, yeah, I was like, all right, I got something here. Like, all right, this is tough. So that
Mm.
was kind of like how it all started. And through that, I was able to, people knew what my mission was and people were inspired by my story. Through that, I was able to build a team. And as I started building the team, we got all like the big people on campus together. When we dropped our second collection, we did a photo shoot and everyone was posting that on our Instagram, on their Instagram. So we kind of really just started getting more well known through that, keeping the momentum. And yeah, bro, that's really how everything went.
Wow. So it's like, I mean, that's the one reason I wish I did go to college just for that networking piece and like
Yeah,
that aspect of it. But you said one thing that stuck out when you said, "Oh, I needed to make money." So the best way to do that was to start a business, and a
for
lot of
sure.
people don't agree with that logic.
Yeah,
So walk me through where that comes from for you, and maybe just kind of who inspired you, to have that type of mindset. Because a lot of people think, "Well, I need money, I need to go get a job."
for sure. Yeah, bro. I mean, for me, it's like there is how many millions of African Americans? Well, we make up like about 14% of the population. I
Hmm.
think America's population is 342 million or something like that. I'm not gonna do the math, but that's a couple million. That's over 10 million black people. I would assume.
Right.
That's the population in America. My job is not going to be able to help 10 million plus black people in America. So
Mm.
it's like, to me, it's like, in order for me to take care, even if I can't save everybody, in order to take care of some of my people, I got to have a substantial amount of income. Because let's just imagine Jeff Bezos was black. He had the same passion and determination I did. Imagine all the good he would do for the community with that money. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's because
Yeah.
he has his businesses. So that was the realization that I came to for me, and that's why I was like, yo, if I'm gonna do something, because I don't only want clothing is just the start of it. Like I want to be able to build universities. I want to be able to actually do some different stuff in the media. I want to create
Mm.
my own like record label, bro. Like because like just where
Same,
rap is right
same.
now, you know what I'm saying? It's just like
Right.
it's not what it can be. So in order to do all that stuff, I'm gonna need bread. So that's the
Yeah.
realization I had, and even watching people, a big one for me was like 19 Keys. He really stood out to me because a lot of stuff that he
Mm.
talks about, he's a thought leader in the community, the black community. A lot of stuff that he talks about is the same thing that I'm kind of passionate about. And he talks about being able to have that economic infrastructure to actually change something. And he's not only somebody who talks about it, but lives out that message. So I would say he's definitely a big one that's kind of helped shape a lot of the views that I have today.
Wow. Okay, so 19 keys. Okay. And so one thing now that I know that you did run track, I want to kind of connect because I know a lot of people who did run track. I see them all like there's a lot of determination and resiliency that come from, track runners. So kind of walk me
For
through, I
sure.
mean, when you ran, what were kind of like your events and like, kind of like um do you like what do you credit to that time period?
For sure. I think with track, I was a sprinter and I was a triple jumper.
Mm.
I could have won All American, in college my freshman year, but COVID wanted to
Yeah.
come along. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Ah,
cool though. God's plan, God's plan.
right.
But yeah, so I was a sprinter. I was a triple jumper. Anyone who's a sprinter knows, like, you love the 100, you love the 200. For me, I hated the 400. If you were a sprinter like me, you hated the 400 too. But
Yeah.
I think a lot of the things that track anyone who's a college athlete or is an athlete in general, early mornings, sometimes midday late practices, is you're constantly hustling and grinding. And I think a lot of the because I mean I've been an active kid ever since I've been active ever since I was a kid.
Right.
So even like when I was little, I was doing karate, I was doing flag football, I was always doing all types of stuff. So I think just being an athlete in general helped me form that sense of discipline and being able to, even though I don't want to do it, I'm still going to do it because that's just what it is. And I like to say that's what being a man is about, but I think that's just what being a productive, ambitious human being is about. There's going to be days that you don't want to do stuff, but in order for you to get to where you need to go to reach that destination, to get that time down, to get that jump, you're gonna need to sit here and you're gonna need to practice every day, whether it's raining, snowing, pouring, shining, it don't matter. And that's exactly what I feel like Stockton did for me, because Stockton was near a beach, so we were like 20 minutes from the beach,
Hmm.
and running in them beach winds when it's 30 degrees outside,
Man,
rain
and in the
pouring, like,
sand too.
yep, yeah, it was no joke. So yeah, I definitely will credit track helping me with my discipline.
Yeah, because discipline is probably the number one thing we need in what we do, just because
For
there is
sure,
no boss. Like the best part about what we do is the worst part, for some people,
for
because
sure.
without having that person or that boss to kind of tell you what to do every day, sometimes it's like we have to create a to-do list and to be able to do it, and sometimes creating it is the hardest part. But
Exactly.
like for you, how do you kind of manage? I mean, I couldn't even imagine like school, and because I mean, I hated school. I couldn't. It was just too much, man, too much. But I found myself navigating a lot better, like with just hands-on learning. But for
Mm.
you, how do you like manage doing the school, doing this, doing the other things? I'm sure you got your hands on. How do you manage it all? Like, what are some tips you have for other people who are trying to multitask?
Um, so I'll start with this. I definitely calendar. Google Calendar is going to be your best friend. Apple Calendar, whatever you like to use, block out your time, man. I think is the best thing for me. I used to have my days blocked out in 15-minute increments, but I just kind of learned that something would pop up during the day, or like I would end up meeting with somebody and talk with them for an hour about business or something like that. So I don't really do that. I have the most important things blocked out, and then in between the times that I don't have blocked out, I'm either working, socializing, whatever. I just need to make sure it's like, okay, cool. Um, Wake up, do the tasks I need to do. If I had class, I go to class. I don't say to do this, but sometimes I do a lot of my important tasks in class, and I don't be paying attention to class. It's just the way
That's a
that I
nice
am.
one.
Not telling people to do that. Yeah, but I'll go back to it. But I just feel like the way school is designed today, it is not for our generation because it's very like lectury. Like, you sit up
Yeah,
here, here's a PowerPoint, do this, do
cookie
this, do
cutter.
this. Yeah, and it's like we're hands on. We're a hands on generation, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
for me, I can teach this to myself later. I'll do this later, but for right now, in order for me to be making this money, I'm gonna do this now because I'm paying for this anyway, and
Nah,
you're not
fact.
doing what I need you to do, even though I'm paying for it. So it is what it is. So yeah, I would definitely say the calendar is important. Being able to block out your time. Um, Doing the most important, the harder tasks first in the beginning of the day is very important. A lot of people do the whole morning routines and stuff. I play with both doing a morning routine and not doing a morning routine. I like not having a morning routine because just
Mm.
for me personally, I would wake up, meditate, read, do this, do that, and I would be so stressed because I'm like, bro, I just want to get to work. I just want to work. So,
Yeah.
some mornings you want to do a morning routine, go ahead, do it. But I usually get up, I work, go to class, read my book later. It is what it is. But when it comes to schoolwork and stuff like that, because I was told by my counselor not to actually tell my true secrets because I could get in trouble. Um, I will say use your resources.
Mm.
That's the best thing for me to put there. There's a lot of technological advancements out there today that I think are very great resources for
Oh yeah.
students and other people alike. So I think being able to use those to assist you is the best way to be able to knock out a lot of schoolwork and stuff like that today.
Yeah, I would argue that like being resourceful is like the top. I mean, it's the top trait I look for when I'm hiring, just because a resourceful person, you don't really have to worry about them, especially
For
if they're
sure.
on a team. Before if they've came to you, they've exhausted everything. They've tried
For
all these
sure.
different methods. Whereas other people, the moment that something doesn't work, oh, they're just coming and asking you type of thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I love the resourcefulness, man. But now I want to take it back to before, like the brand, like before More Life. Kind of for you, what are your inspirations with a lot of these designs, and like where do you find like inspiration there, and just what is your process when it's like coming up with new designs?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, bro. I've been designing since I've always been. I think I've been designing really since I was a kid. I was always coloring or doing something. My mom's an artist, so I feel like that's a lot from her side. When I was a kid, I made a book. Oh, you got the page up. Uh-oh. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You saying go
Oh, I
tap
got
in
you on
with your
your
boy.
other
Follow.
page.
We,
I got too many damn
yes,
pages.
sir. But yeah, so I mean, I've always been like doing little coloring books and making like creatures and fantasy and all types of stuff like that because that's just what I was into as a kid. But I think for me, the biggest inspiration comes from being able to um, just meet my people, see what's online, and I think Pinterest helps me a lot too. But I think I try to speak from a lot of my experiences and put those into my designs. And just I always wanted to mean something and have a message. That's really it. Because anyone could put a skull, star, or a butterfly on a shirt and say that's fashion. To me, that's not
Yeah,
fashion. Fashion is an art. You know what I'm saying? Is you
yeah,
speaking and telling your perspective of the world and how you see things. And that's exactly what I try to do with my brand, especially since it's titled More Life. Um, so I would say that's a lot of it. But if we're getting into technical, I would say Pinterest helps me a lot with my inspiration.
mm,
Museums for sure. If you can go in, like, cause I'm located in Bowie, Maryland, so I'm real close to DC. I go to the Smithsonian sometimes, like, or even just walking throughout
dang.
the city, like,
Oh, that's
that's
a luxury.
inspiration, bro. Yeah, or like even be able to talk
Facts.
to other like-minded people. You know what I'm saying? That's inspiration too. Like you never know when something's gonna hit you. So I just think being real open-minded to the world and just kind of letting things, talk to you. I guess in a sense is the best way for me to put it.
Yeah, cause I was never I'm very creative, but it's like when it came to like being artsy and being able to draw, like that's where it was like I met my match. But
Yeah.
it's cool to hear people. So like you use it as like an outlet. So like, are there like designs that you can think of that like let's say, let's say for example for me like if someone plays a song of mine, I can remember how I was feeling that day. Like for you, is it like any designs that kind of like bring up memories or like have any stories behind them for you that you can think of?
Yeah, for sure. And I'll say this also, by the way, I can't sew, I can't draw, I can't do any of those things either. So I'm with you on that. I'm just good at Photoshop. I'm good at communicating, and
Mm,
I am good at putting stuff into mock-ups and changing layers and stuff. So, I can design, but I can't really like do any of that. I would say I'm a very intermediate designer when it comes to Photoshop and stuff.
so you're just super
But
duper resourceful.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, because if you look at all the top businesses in America, what do? Outsource. They outsource all
yeah.
of their stuff. So it's like you got to move the same way. Um, but yeah, for me, any memorable designs? A lot of memorable designs that I like is I don't really have on my gram. I just haven't released them yet.
Mm,
But I gotta see if I can find some and maybe send them to you, so you can put them up on the joint. But
yeah.
I would say there is man, with some dope. I made a design that's hanging in my closet right now, but it was basically, oh my God, there was the saying on it. Hold on, let me see if I can grab it real quick. One minute, it's right here.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Hold on.
Yes,
There
we
we go.
want to
All
see.
right, so this is the shirt right here. I know y'all can't see it, but it says the most dangerous anger is built inside someone with a good heart. And
Oh
then
my
on the right, I
God,
said, Welcome to being a black man in America." That's the logo right there, and then it's
man,
both
I
up.
need that. That shirt just
Yeah,
read me.
yeah. Look, man. So I think stuff like that is like getting reactions like that. It's like because that's how we feel. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So it,
Man,
you know what I'm
that's how
saying?
you.
So
Yeah, yeah.
and I
That's
think
how.
no one's making stuff like that because no one wants to speak on those truths. So I feel like
Mm,
for me, those pieces where I'm really speaking on those truths that no one else speaks about, like on those dark days or days that I'm feeling some type of way, I think those are the ones that mean the best to me. So that's one of many examples I have because I have a whole like vault of stuff in my hard drive that I just have designs on. So yeah, I
mm,
would say that's one example, brother. And I have other stuff like I have a couple. I've been playing around with AI and stuff like that. So I have a couple of really good designs that I've done with AI
mm.
that I'm kind of proud of. That's been nice. So yeah,
Oh yeah, I did. I played around with the AI as well, the DALI and the ChatGPT
hmm
4, and yeah, those have made my life just so much easier. Like it's made it so like I went through a period where like I was losing some team members and people were dealing with things in their personal lives, and it's like oh, it's
for
hard
sure.
like to navigate it, for everyone that's involved. And then I'm like being able to replace tasks done by somebody with ChatGPT is crazy. It's
Not
crazy,
facts.
but now like kind of getting the whole picture now before because now I see where we kind of saw for a minute oh we're gonna go go pro or go all American, but before like let's say before we thought that maybe before we thought about doing the brand, what was some other professions that we were thinking that we were gonna get into, or what did we used to think that we were gonna do?
To be honest, bro, I never knew. I just always knew ever since I was a kid. My teachers, my parents, like anyone that I was like real close with, or just kind of saw me. Some people you would even see me passing by on a regular basis. They always told me like, "Yo, like I don't know what it is, but like you're meant to do something on this earth."
Mm,
And I was just like, "Damn, like, I don't know what it is." So like for me as a young kid, even throughout high school, I was stressed. Like, "Damn, what the heck am I gonna do?" And like my parents were like, "Oh, you're gonna be you should be a lawyer, or maybe a businessman, and you'll have your own office and stuff like that." I'm like, I don't want to be working for somebody else's business because that's all that I knew was possible. Like that's all that I experienced, and I was just like, I don't like law, so I'm cool off that. I don't want to be playing all that stuff. And then politics, I'm like, I don't like playing games. I'm good. So I didn't really know. So I just knew like, all right, I'm just gonna when I go to college, I'm just gonna do business and like, I'll get my business major and I'll figure it out from there. I always kind of had that faith that whatever happens is meant to happen. So then
mm,
one day, because I used to be involved in my church, I was like a youth leader at my church and stuff like that. My youth pastor took me out to lunch, and he was like, "Man, I don't know how else to tell you this, but I just had this premonition, is I feel like you're going to be the Messiah for Black people."
oh
And that
wow,
just hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like,
man, that's pressure
"Me?"
too though.
Yeah, I was like, right, yeah, I was like, bro, I don't think you know me too much. I don't know about that, brother. It's like,
Yeah.
but after thinking about it and like really brewing on it, and I talked to my parents about it, I was like, nah, I feel like that's it. But then for me, it was like, how do I do that? He told me that, what was that? I think end of my junior year, senior year of high school. So I'm like trying to figure out, okay, well, like, what is that going to be? And then it's funny because I went to college, I was just going with the flow of things. COVID happened, and then COVID was like a reset for me, and boom, that's when it hit me. I was like, okay, cool. Then I need to start a business. And I remember like going downstairs and telling my mom, like, yo, I want to be a millionaire because that's how I'm going to be able to start working my way up. So yeah, to answer your question, I didn't know what I wanted to be before. I know I wanted to do something where I was able to network with people and use my personality. Did if you could have told me my freshman year of high school or senior year of high school, yeah, bro, you're gonna own a clothing brand, and I would have been like, I don't know nothing about no clothing. What the heck am I gonna do that for? Like, why am I
Yeah,
be in
yeah.
fashion? So, yeah, man, I had no idea.
Man, so yeah, and I'm hoping like I was just telling my girl I'm hoping that because I'm loving this podcast, I'm loving journalism. I've always been a writer, so I'm like it's been so fun. But I'm like I'm hoping that that's not like gonna replace music like one day because it's
Yeah,
possible. You gotta let it go, but that would be a
for
hard
sure.
pill to swallow if it was like one day I'm like oh I'm not supposed to do music, but like no, it is crazy like growing up and getting to do some of these other things. But for
For
you, man,
sure.
like, kind of, what's next? I know you said we got some, goals for some, drops now, but like, what's next? I know you mentioned like record label. I know you mentioned like, just more life, just a brand growing, with, different entities. What are some of these other things you got, planned for the future?
Yeah, for sure, bro. Right now we have some potential collaborations with Nordstrom lined up to do a couple pop-up shops in a couple of their stores. So I'm super excited about that. And eventually I would like to do a little HBCU tour because I'm contacted with some people at HBCUs. It's just getting the clout to get up there, so we can do that.
Yeah.
But I believe that'll happen. Um, and then yeah, man, I think what's next, I think, is being able to build the community that we have. So we're building the Discord community called the Culture Changers right now.
Mm.
It's gonna be paid, but right now it's free and it's open for the month of February. And we want to have like-minded, ambitious, young individuals, whether you're black, Spanish, white, it doesn't matter. But people who really want to make a difference and change the culture is really what it's about. People who see the
Yeah.
problems in the culture and people who see how it's affecting the youth and want to be able to be a leader in changing that. So we're focusing on that and recruiting people for that, and then eventually trying to provide as much value as possible in that group. And yeah, I think that's really just the next step for me is building that. And as you can see, my two whiteboards behind me, finishing all that stuff and all these tasks and all
That's
this other stuff I
hard.
got going.
All that I wouldn't even
Yeah,
look at.
bro.
Oh, that's hard.
Yes,
That's a
sir.
dope
Yeah.
setup. Yeah, I need to. Ever since I'm such a procrastinator, I didn't move. Been here for like 8 months. Still ain't got a whiteboard since I moved, but I definitely need to get a new one.
Yeah,
But
bro. 20
dang,
bucks on
bro. So
Amazon.
man, I need. It's just it'd be as simple as because I'd be like, I want to go order something on Amazon, but then if I order that, I gotta order all that other stuff, and I just want to like it just
I
you know
feel
how
you.
it be. But all right, bro. So now we got summer coming up. We have, I mean, a lot of different, just a lot of changes, a lot of transitions coming for you. Are we looking at stores at any time? I mean, like physical locations. Is that in the plans, or like anything when it comes to growth for more life?
That's a good question. Physical locations is an interesting one because I mean I like to move with the times.
Me too.
Um, if it makes sense for us to do a physical location, then yeah. But right now, I feel like I want to focus on online as much as possible, shipping out as much as possible. And then, like if we're popping like that, which I believe we will, then yeah, for sure, I would like to do a physical location or even some type of like collaborative store, but maybe like a networking space or something. I wouldn't know, but like for me, I'm always trying to see, okay, what are these other companies doing, and what's something that I can do that's gonna make me stand out to be different. So
Mm,
definitely, especially with the way like augmented reality and virtual reality and all that stuff is going, like I would love to maybe do a store that incorporates that, or
yeah.
even a store maybe that you get the 3D print your own clothes or something like that. Just a gym out there. Anybody who wanna, you could try it. You could try it. But yeah. So like just stuff like that, I think is what I would want to do if we were to do stores. But right now, for me, it's just really I'm trying to focus on bringing in as much bread as possible, building as much capital as possible, so then we could be able to have these options to do more things and
Yeah.
do the stores or maybe start another company or do something like that. So yeah.
So for sure, and when it comes to building capital, like obviously we all have our sauce that we charge people for. But what are you willing to share, for entrepreneurs who are in that phase of needing to build bread? Because I mean, for you, I know it's probably for a lot of people, because there's a lot of people who don't think they're in control of making money. They're like, oh, I have to wait for it to come, things like that. But I mean, I feel like you and I know that okay, if I need to make some money, I know how to go get it, and it's repeatable. So is there
Yeah.
any like tips or tricks for you for like, entrepreneurs who are in that phase, like I need bread, like, what should they do first? What should they do next?
So I feel like it really depends on where you're at in life.
Definitely.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like for me, I'm in college, so especially going to a HBCU, there's a lot of opportunities I can capitalize on when it comes to pitch competitions and stuff like that I can do. You can do pitch competitions out there too. I think it's a really good one because that not only helps you be able to learn how to sell your brand because it's all about communication. When you're going to the in front of these judges or even in front of investors and stuff, they need to understand as clear as possible what your brand is. And I think that's a great place to start is be able to do pitch competitions, building your business model canvas, so you understand how to communicate these things. Because if you can communicate that to judges and investors, you can definitely communicate it to people who you're selling to your customers.
Oh, that's a
Um,
good point.
yeah, so I think that's the best place to start. When I first started out, I did it the hustler way, working three jobs, and I was just for me, I was spend, 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 but really learning how to before even making bread, learning how to budget the correct way. I think is a very important thing. So whether you saving 30%, you're going another 40% towards your needs, and then the other part of that is going towards, the brand or something. Really understand how to diversify your bread and stack in that sense. I think is important, but I mean, there's so many ways you can make bread. So yeah, I know that probably doesn't help the best, but I think pitch competitions is probably a really good opportunity to do that. Accelerated programs too. Like I'm in a couple accelerated programs right now this semester for another business I have, and I mean already, but at the end of this year, that's like 8, 9K I'm getting from all of them, just doing that. So I think that that's definitely some stuff to capitalize on is doing those. Hold on, brother.
Yeah,
I
I'll
was
be
about to say,
muting this so I don't pick up any feedback. But are
no, you're
you
good.
like open to are you open to like people who wanted to invest in like stake? Like are you open to like private investors or people like that who wanted to invest in you guys?
Um, that's a great question. It's a really great
I have
question.
a follow up.
Am I open to it? Yes, but I'm the type of person where it's like I want if someone's gonna invest in it. One, I want you to make sure you're a good quality person, and two, I want to make sure you're aligned with the mission and the vision also. Like if you're aligned with those two things, then perfect. Yeah, we can definitely talk about giving some equity and making something shake. Because I think as black businesses trying to grow into something, we need that, and I think a lot of us are too scared to give our babies away. But I would be okay with that. What was your follow up question?
My follow up is, let's say you're on Shark Tank right now.
Okay.
What are you saying to get them to go all in on more life?
Oh, that's a great question, man. Dang. I would definitely bring up, of course, you gotta talk about what the brand is doing. I would bring up our profit margins for sure. I think the only thing about being on Shark Tank that would mess me up is my numbers aren't the sexiest right now.
Mm.
So we haven't done the 100,000, $500,000 in sales yet. But
We can't
I
say
would
any of
say
this stuff. We can't say any of that. Only the
you're right.
pros.
You're right. You're right.
Because
You're right.
they're gonna, they're gonna make it be that, and they're gonna get money once it's that. But I mean, the idea is really like the brand and just the individuality, man. I mean, bump them numbers. But my
Well,
fault.
for sure. No, no, you good. You good. I think that's a great point. So that now that you said that, you actually made me think of this. I'm bringing up the tapestry hoodies. No one's known in the market right now for doing tapestry hoodies.
Mhm.
$70 billion market by 2023. Black people are supposed to be spending $70 billion a year on clothes. And black people are also 3 times more likely to switch to a brand if they know it's a black owned brand.
Sure.
Now, and there's also percentages of people that are supporting more social justice brands, which is something that we're doing. And then on top of that, sustainability. We're focused on making sustainable tapestry pieces, which no one has done. So I think those would be 5 things right now that would be able to sell.
Yeah, and those are all things and that's exactly what you're talking about, diversifying, standing out, So, all right, so, and what are just like some other, like, those are some big ones, but like when it comes to the actual, hoodies themselves, like, what do you feel like separates them? Like, I know you mentioned quality a little bit. Like, what do you feel like separates them from, your other hoodies or other like tapestry hoodies people might see?
I have not seen any. Dang, I don't know if I can speak on that though. That's the secrets. Um, I would say my tapestry hoodies have certain comfort capabilities in them that no one I haven't seen anyone in the market do.
Mm.
So I would say certain things make them a lot warmer than other tapestry hoodies out there. And I also take a lot of stuff from what other people are doing now with regular hoodies, and I just do that with my tapestry hoodies.
Mm.
So I'm gonna leave it vague just because I gotta get some stuff patented first and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
once
for
I get that,
sure.
I'll speak on it. But
For
yeah, I
sure.
would say there's definitely what stands out. But some of the simple stuff we does is like other people, embroidery. I definitely focus on that, makes it look cleaner, and then of course the satin in the hood because I'm selling to black people.
Right.
And yeah, that's I would say that's really it. And something I did do that no one else is doing is I changed the cut of my tapestry hoodies to fit like an actual hoodie. Because a lot of tapestry hoodies is open sleeves, it's hanging down. Ours don't do that. And another gem I'll give y'all is putting pockets in them joints. Nobody's putting pockets in tapestry hoodies either. So yeah,
Mm.
those are 2 things that we do.
Yeah, I hate anything without a pocket because it's like this.
You
We
telling me,
always
bro?
got something. Especially usually most of us got two phones, three phones, so we need all the
Exactly.
pockets. So for sure, for sure. Okay, man. So now with at this point, I mean, do you have like a list of notable people that you know who have been posted up in some more life?
Notable. Hmm. I've had some minor influencers in my stuff in the very beginning. Um, I think that you'll probably in the next year or so you'll see some more notable people and some more life. I've been taking like the past year some change to develop the brand that I
Right.
haven't really been sending any products out to people. Um, but I will even though it's not my brand, I'm gonna give shout out to my brother's brand, Zero Harm. He sent his stuff to Kai Cenat and he had his stuff on stream, so that's something I could think of. So definitely
Man.
go check out his stuff. His stuff is pretty
Yeah.
hard. I think Instagram is zero, just the letter harm, HARM. So yeah, that's my little bro. Gotta show love to him.
Yeah, that's hard. Dang. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What are the people on your list that you want to see in some more life?
That's a good one, man. Definitely shout out to the man's 19 Keys. Yaki Awaken. These are people I don't think anyone's gonna know. But Yaki Awaken's another one. Wall Street Trapper, Earn Your Leisure, Troy and Rashad.
Oh, definitely on your leisure.
Yeah. Let me see who else. Any young millionaire, that young black millionaire you could think of. That's all the people I want in my stuff. 'Cause that's my audience. Those are the people who are
Laresso
leading
for
the people
sure.
that
I
I
would want
want
to see Laresso in it for sure.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, stuff like that. Those are the people I would want in my clothes.
dope, man, dope. And now with we're gonna transition into summer and things. Are we gonna come out with some summer pieces this summer, like any shorts and things like that? Or are we gonna stick with the hoodie route?
I mean, you can do tap hoodies in the summer, but I think shorts and stuff will sell better. Um, that's a really good one, man. Because I feel like with running a clothing brand in fashion, you have to do everything early, so people are prepping for their summer stuff now.
Yeah,
Um, so I would think in the summer, like I have stuff in the vault. I'll probably do some pre-orders with a couple of t-shirts. Just regular t-shirts I would probably do. And yeah, that's probably the route I'll go down. Because I know in the summer I'll also be doing a lot of content also, so that'll be bringing some attention. So to be honest, I may mess around and drop that t-shirt I showed earlier.
no, yeah, that was
That could be one
hard.
of the ones.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, we need that. We need that.
for sure. But
Okay.
yeah, bro, maybe some t-shirts and shorts gonna come in soon.
Yeah, yeah, that's because I like the relatable stuff. That's really how you I mean, I could think of so many target audiences who could relate with that. Even my ADHD community that we have built, like a lot of us relate with that. Most of them, are they have the emotion that they feel. They're usually the good people, and because we suck at communication, sometimes we end up getting labeled as bad. And a lot of the stuff that you have is there's a lot of different markets for it. But what are some markets that I know we have our lane? You mentioned like our social justice lane. You mentioned trying to create the new or redefine the culture. What are some lanes that you're looking to get into maybe that we haven't tried out so much at this point?
And clothing or just in general?
I guess we can go both, broader. I mean, if there were some issues that maybe you want to touch on that maybe some topics that you want to try to infiltrate with clothing that you never really, thought about.
I don't know if there's really any topics I want to infiltrate with clothing. I just know some, and you can let me know if this doesn't answer the question, but I know some industries I want to be definitely infiltrated. I mean, y'all can call me a nerd. I'm a big anime guy. I love anime, and I don't see enough, if any, black anime out there. Neither do I know of any black anime studio out there.
Mm,
So that's one I really want to be able to invest in and pushing out like not only black anime, but black anime that has to do with like our history. Like how dope would
yeah,
it be to see like a black anime about like African like culture or tribe like battling or stuff
yeah.
like that? You know, like that don't be hard.
That
People will
would be
watch that.
hard. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. So like stuff like that, I want to be able to produce. Like I said, a record label. I want to actually do with people that's not talking about shoot 'em up, kill 'em, bang bang, and all that other stuff. Like I want to create music that is actually benefiting people and guiding people down the right path. That's something, another route I want to go down eventually. And I'm trying to think what else, man. I definitely an actual like clean restaurant that's actually serving healthy food.
Mm,
Not any of that fast food stuff. I want, if I gotta call it slow food, I'll call it slow food because it takes time
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, whatever. But doing stuff like that. And like I said, the biggest one is More Life University. Gonna be the first. I guess I can't say that it's going to be the first FBCU, the future of Black colleges and universities, what I call it. And we're going to be doing it the right way, is what I like to tell people. Because I mean, no shade to my HBCUs at all. They're trying, but I definitely think there is a lot of things that can be fixed that they are not focusing on that I want to do at my university. Even when it comes to the education too, is like really being able to teach us properly about our history, where we came from, how we are as a beings. I mean, like we're more alkaline beings than we are acidic. I mean, there's so much stuff that we don't know about ourselves that I want to
yeah.
be able to teach at this university, and the right way to go about entrepreneurship, etc. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff I want to be able to teach. So that's really my big venture that I'm trying to go into next to transition into. But yeah, those are just a couple of gems and things that I have that I want to do with the More Life Empire, is what I like to call it.
That's hard. Yeah, I know they miss a lot of things in school. I was talking with Rocky. The biggest thing that she said they miss is communication. Just
Mm,
because I mean that's what we all struggle with the most, especially like in. Well, I also wanted to ask, so that'll be my follow up. Ask the connection with Detroit, but talk to me about communication. Just how you've been able to go from. I'm not sure if you've always talked with the always been able to articulate the way you do now, but kind of walk me through that journey because I mean I know there was one point where I never could switch it off to talk the way I need to or at all. So like kind of walk me through how
for
you kind
sure.
of did that journey.
I think that's a good one, man. I think there's the first place to start when I don't know where a lot of things is I go to YouTube, right? I've kind of been
Mm,
raised where I just kind of know, like, parents call it quote code switching, but it's
yeah.
switching to your white voice because that's just what it is. I grew up in a white neighborhood, so I kind of had to understand how to do those things.
Mm,
But for me, I've always a person that I just love speaking because I love just being the center of attention. That's the type of person I am. So
mm,
I've kind of just learned certain ways to be able to communicate in that sense. Back straight, speaking from your stomach to be able to project your voice, stuff like that.
mm,
But I think the prime thing with communication is a lot of people struggle to communicate because they overthink or they hesitate too much. Just say what's on your mind.
yeah.
You're not going to be
Yeah.
perfect at it at first, but the more that you
Yeah.
practice, the more that you learn, the more that you communicate and talk with people, and they critique you on whatever you're saying, the better you'll get at it. And I think that's one of the biggest problems of our community is like we don't communicate at all because we think communication is weak or I don't know how to communicate. Just talk,
Yeah.
say what's in your head. It's simple. It does not have to be that difficult. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to the public speaking sense, I think it's just storytelling. That's all it is. It's just being able to write and tell a story and being able to show emotion in your voice. I think it's a perfect thing.
Mm,
So yeah.
yeah. And not be monotone. Yeah, it helps. And I'm not sure if you made any if you've had to make any VSLs. But yeah, definitely when you're making, I've had to make like 25 takes for one VSL. Just because I'm like,
Hmm.
because like my grandma look at you didn't even do anything wrong while you stopping. I'm like, no, I sounded robotic. Like you really have to like get it all the way down. But
Exactly.
my other thing I had because I know that we're in two different states. So I'm in
Hmm.
Detroit, in the Metro Detroit area. Where you say you located again?
I'm in Bowie for school right now, Bowie, Maryland, but I reside in New Jersey, South Jersey area.
Okay. And the reason why I wanted to ask and touch on that is because I know that your brand, I mean, just would, I almost, when Lex had introduced me, I thought that you were from Detroit because it seemed like a brand that, I mean, just would resonate a lot with Detroiters. So, like, my question to you was, have you thought about, I'm not sure how many other friends you have from the Metro Detroit area, but have you thought about some type of, homage to Detroit line or just something in that realm?
I have not at all, man. I mean, I barely like. I'm just now touching and traveling and going different places because like of just the reputation I built for myself on campus. So I would love to do some stuff with some Detroit people. Like that would be dope. I'm all for being able because I think Detroit, Chicago, and one other city is like some of the top cities that have like some of the biggest black populations in America.
Hmm.
So like those are where I want to go. Those are the places I want to be because that's where my people are at.
Yeah.
So I would definitely love to do that. I haven't thought about it because I don't know a lick about Detroit and I've never been to Detroit. So,
Oh man, we
I
gotta
wouldn't know, but I'd be
introduce you.
interested. Yeah, for sure, bro.
Yeah, so okay, so yeah, I asked because we might have to just open that, and with even with the physical stores, we might need to get some physical stores down here because it would do very well. Because a lot of stuff that you're talking about, I know resonates with a lot of people in Detroit, and Detroit is just such a pro-black city. Any
Yeah,
brands like that just kind of pop off, and like that's how we are. Like with all the Detroit brands, anybody who makes clothes, purses, anything, that's all you see people wearing. Like we're really good at supporting our own. But even when
that's
it
tough.
goes as deeply as just African Americans, outside, we're really good at supporting. So definitely would love to see that collab. But what are some brands that you're looking to collaborate with this year, if any? Like I know some brands want to stay mysterious, but are you looking to collaborate with any bigger brands or just any brands out there?
I have them all on my vision board. I don't discriminate. Like I just like to collaborate with brands in general. It doesn't even just have to be clothing brands.
Right,
So like EYL is a big one I want to collaborate with.
definitely.
19 Keys is another one I want to collaborate with. I know I keep mentioning him, but like that's my guy. Um, Amiri is
Ooh,
another one because I just like a lot of the stuff that they do. And I feel like, this is the collab of collabs. If you collab with Nike, you're doing your thing. So eventually,
yeah.
sometimes down the road, I would like to do something with Nike. Like, I feel like Nike could use a lot of dope stuff. But it's funny that you say this because I've already designed and done certain things for certain companies that I would like to collaborate with in the future. So I already
Oh,
know how I would incorporate certain stuff to it. So yeah,
that's hard.
there's a whole bunch of them, bro. I want to do. So I'm excited.
Yeah, a couple that I would want to see would definitely be You Matter. That would be dope.
That joke would be clean. Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
guy.
that would be hard. I was trying to think of somebody else, but yeah, that's who came to mind for me. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of opportunity out there. Just I mean, 2024 seems like everybody's standing on business with their
For
goals,
sure.
and I'm talking to so many ambitious people lately, and it's been pumping me up. Like y'all got me almost feeling behind, and I feel like I'm doing a million things, but now I feel like I'm not doing enough.
For
But how
sure.
do you so like for let's say downtown? Because I know we've been strictly business downtown. Like, what are we doing to stay sane? So it's like I got on my TV, my monitor. Sometimes I can just flip it to 2K during breaks. But like, what's your getaway? What's your how do you keep the mental health good while we going through all this work and grind mode?
For sure. Yeah, bro. I think one first and foremost, I got an HDMI switcher myself. I got my MacBook that I'm on right now hooked up to it, my PC and my Xbox. So whenever I need to switch, I switch and I
Hmm.
go ahead and play the game I need to play. So yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
huge gamer. I feel like that's just a really, especially it keeps me creative. And it's relaxing being able to just socialize and play with my boys or just like run around and explore new worlds and stuff. So definitely
Yeah.
that. Anime is another one for me. Being able to that keeps me super creative because just seeing what other people create and their ideas gives me ideas for stuff to do. So that's a really big one. Is watching a lot of anime, and my I think finding a strong black woman. I'm blessed to have one by my side, and
Mm.
I think being able to spend time, develop, and grow with her has been a big one also. So. I think those are kind of the three things that kind of keep me going, and of course, I just have an amazing family by my side. So they keep me going too, bro. So that's really all I need. Family, friends, the game, my lady, and anime. I'm straight, bro.
I mean, we're simple, like they
Yeah,
say. I see posts that say women get so mad because of how simple we are, and it's like it's that simple. I hear usually
yeah,
when I ask guys that, I get the same answer. If I ask a girl
yeah.
that, it's gonna be it's you never know. But yeah, like, and that's kind of the same, man. And I love that you mentioned being able to grow and build with someone because a lot of people, I mean, you know how people are, but like I love
For
love,
sure,
so like it's definitely cool to hear that. But
for sure.
for you, so like beyond that, with anime, like what are some of our favorite animes? What are some animes that we like? We know that'll get us talked about for, but we love anyway. Like what are our favorites right now?
My OG, my one that I watched first was Naruto. Definitely love Naruto, bro. Like it's just something about being able to watch somebody start from the bottom and being able
Mm.
to build their way, get to the top, or fit like fulfill the goal that they wanted to do. It's just like it resonates with me because that's what I'm on my journey of doing.
Yeah.
So definitely Naruto's a good one. Demon Slayer, Fire Force. I mean, what else? What are some of the other ones? My Hero Academia. And some of the ones I watched. They're not really out right now, but the ones that are out now, Solo Leveling, fire. Definitely hop on that. Y'all watching this? There's another one that just dropped called Ninja Kamui or something like that. It's on HBO Max. Fire.
Mm.
Shangri La is another one. Fire. And I think those are like Mashal is another one too. Those are like the four ones I think are really good right now that I like. But definitely my number one favorite of all time is My Hero. I love My Hero Academia because just the story, where he
Mm.
came from and where he's at now. Oh my god, like it's dope.
Yes, man. And it's cool to, and I always love the culture. Like I never got into watching too many just because I can't. Watching TV is hard, especially as a
For
kid. I
sure.
was so limited to what I could watch, and it was
Yeah,
I just play on the game more. But I
yeah.
definitely got into after because my girl was in the anime, so I got to watch a few with her, like, and I got to see like Attack on Titans and stuff like that. But my
Oh yeah,
favorite
that's a
is
good one
still
too.
the one that they say is not even anime, which is Dragon Ball Z. But I don't care. I'm gonna call it anime, and that's
Yeah,
that's anime to me, and it's my
yeah,
favorite
yeah,
because it's just it was kind of the same thing with Goku. Like it felt misunderstood because it's like whenever you see someone great who is just super ambitious and acting like they're behind, people be annoyed at that person because it's like, bro, you're already like you're Goku, but he just had this just undying just ambition. It's like that was kind of like mine because I'm like that's hard. Like me, I always feel like I'm not doing nothing. I always feel behind. I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs feel that way too.
for
But
sure.
man, so we didn't talk about it a lot. Like for you, I want to make sure, like for you, what's one thing that people don't know about More Life or people don't know about you that you want to make sure that everybody knows this year?
Um, dang. One thing about me that people are more like that people don't know about. That's a good question, bro. For any of my Bowie State people listening in, I'm not unapproachable. I promise. A lot of people don't talk to me because they say I'm unapproachable, but I be like you say, I'll be standing on business, so I get to where I need to go and go back to my room.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, I don't know, man. I think that's a good question. I can't really think of anything. Only thing right now is, right, we are doing we're dropping our Black History Month tapestry hoodie. You showed it earlier. It was our Black Smiles one, so it's a brown
Mm.
tapestry hoodie with like smiles all over it. We're dropping that now. It's only $100, so please, go check that out. It's at www.wearemorelife.com. I always say, go ahead and get you one. That's really it. I mean, and I would say the other thing I would have to say is, like I said, we're for the culture. We're for changing the culture, and we're for being able to better the black community and bring us back to where we're supposed to be as true kings and queens of the culture. So
Mm.
yeah, I think as a people, we need to take control of our back. We need to take control back of our minds, of our money, and just of I would say of everything, of our food, of a whole bunch of stuff. So that's the initiative that I want to lead. And yeah, so yeah, right there. Make sure y'all go ahead and cop only
Mm.
$100. You know what I'm saying? Fire. And it's
Yeah, that's
satin
hard.
inside the hood for your hair, black folks. You know what I'm saying? I take care of my peoples. So
That's
yeah,
hard. Dang, yeah, I wanted to make sure I popped that up on the screen. So, man, and then for the photography, are we shouting out the photographer? Like, where are we doing these shoots at?
my man. So definitely in Baltimore. Shout out to the Digital Factory. We did our shoot there. It was like last year. This time we did it. And just dope factory, dope people. I mess with them heavy. And then to the photographer, that's my man M Boogie. Miles, he's dope. Literally, it's M Boogie on Instagram too. You can look on. You should be able to find him. But I mean, took some great shots. I'll even give a shout out to the model, Miss Danny Ariana. That's my good sis right there. That we were trying to go for like a Black Love, Black History Month feel.
Yeah, that was
Um,
hard.
yeah, yeah. So that's the whole crew right there, and just some other people. My creative director Tamar Moses, she put that together. Shout out to my other marketing expertise, Olivia. She is dope too, so she kind of helped with this whole shoot too. So yeah, that's really it, bro. That's everything.
Man, and the one thing I wanted to, I think this is probably the last point I want to touch on is
Mhm.
usually when it comes to clothes and like music, it kind of usually goes hand in hand at some point. Like they kind of meet. Do we
Yeah.
have any big inspirations or just any big celebs that we want to obviously see in clothing, but any just inspirations that you feel inspired, your style? Because there's so many inspirational, juggernauts out there when it comes to celebs.
I think one person, even though I know he's getting low key a lot of, I don't even know what to smoke. I don't know what it is, but Drake. Shout out to my man
Oh,
Drake.
okay, I let you about to say Playboy Cardi.
Oh hell no.
I'm about to stop you there, Chief.
I
No.
was about to say nah. Shout out to Drake, bro. I think just his style, but for me, what at least old Drake, I resonate with his music a lot. And like in the very beginning when I first started, that was like, I mean, waking up 5 a.m., heading to the gym, just listening to 3030 freestyle and stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
that just kept me going, and just
get
seeing
into
his
it.
style and stuff he had with OVO is like that's a collab I want to do. More life OVO, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. I
Come
had
check
to
your boy
ask
out. You
you,
feel
yeah.
me? So yeah, man, definitely Drake. I think is a big inspiration, for sure.
Yeah, and I figure, I mean, that, with more life, I figure, and that's definitely, going with that. So is that gonna be like the main? Because I saw you had some on the Instagram page. There were some other designs that had some other verbiage. Is this gonna be like our main, like on every single thing, or like will we try out some other sayings or some other, tech or some other designs?
I mean, yeah. So, well, a lot of our tapestries, like I know a lot of the tapestries has more life on the front, change the culture on the back. I have other
Right.
ones that has different stuff on it, but like the front is always going to be more life because that's just the brand. And then the back, sometimes I have different sayings. Like I have a teddy bear one right now that I did, and it says comfortable in my skin" on the back. And then I have
Mm,
another one that's like it's kind of like black African, vibes on it. It has like this about black woman on it and black man. And it was like on the bag is created to create. So depending on how I'm feeling with the design and the vibe I'm going for, there'll always be different stuff on the back, but the front's always going to be more like the same because that's the brand.
and that's what I was hoping to hear, yeah, because I think that's
Oh, for sure.
iconic, especially the one where you're standing with. This was who she looked like somebody very very important at Boise State or Boise State.
That's the president of Bowie State University.
Sheesh, yeah. Let me actually throw that back up here. Yeah, she looks just. I remember every time I see this picture, I'm like, she just looks super important. Like she look like she could be the
Yeah,
president of the United States. Like,
yeah,
yeah, she
yeah.
looking
That's the
sharp.
president of Bowie State.
Yeah, looking very very sharp, very sharp. That was the dope. That was dope. So, and what was this event, real quick?
Yeah, so I would, like I said, I'm a hustler. I was emailing her for the past month and some change so I can meet with her because I wanted to tell her about my brand, what I'm doing, then also see if there's any way I could be of service and provide value to her. Because anyone who networks and you know how to network, just a gem here, you got to understand that people is humans at the end of the day. So if you want to take something from them, you got to be able to give something from them too.
Right.
So yeah, that was the biggest thing for me. So I met with her, and then I gifted her that hoodie as one of the things, and then we also talked about some other stuff that she had lined up for Bowie State University that she wanted to get me in on. So yeah, that was dope.
Dope, dope. Anything from that that you can share that's coming up.
Um,
Gotta ask. Got to.
I mean, I know we were supposed to do. So I think one of the things that resulted from that was we had a TV show come to our campus called the College Tour. It's on
Wow.
Amazon Prime, and I
Okay.
was one of the students. They called me one of the star students that was able to be on that show, talk about my story, and yeah. So
Dang.
more life will be on Amazon Prime soon. But yeah,
Dang. Oh, that's gonna be a big. That's gonna be the collab right there. Okay.
no, for sure. So
Dope.
yeah,
Dope.
that's one of the things that resulted from it, which was dope. And then she connected me to the head of the professor that's head of the fashion department. She's like, I have many students talking to me, but she's like, because the president is my girl, so I'm gonna make sure I take care of you. So she's one of the people that got me connected with Harlem Fashion Row. I mean, she knows a whole bunch of people from Neiman Marcus. Like she has connections, so she is getting me
Man.
hooked up with a whole bunch of people too. So that's the beauty of being able to network and just hustling and trying to stay connected with people on campus and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that's to people who try to kind of diminish college, because even though I didn't go, like I never tried to like put people down, but like that's to the people who look at college like it's, it's useless. That right there, like even beyond the knowledge that you can learn from the good professors that there are out there, the networking that you can do in college is crazy. The fact that there are people at your college who are connected with Neiman Marcus, so
For sure.
man, it's definitely. I know you dropped a lot of gems for everybody, so I definitely appreciate that, man. I don't want to keep you too long. I know we coming up on an hour here. What do you want to leave everybody with? From more life, from your perspective, what do you want to leave everybody with?
That's a good question, man. I think the biggest thing, and I'm just kind of speaking through what I'm going through right now in my life. I think we get so overwhelmed and we get so um, we overconsume so much about content on social media and what's the right thing to do as an entrepreneur and this and that and da da da. And it's like the biggest thing I would tell people is just learn how to breathe and sit back. I feel like as long as you are doing 1% every day, you're destined to get to where you need to go. So I think for me, it's like don't focus so much on what everybody else is doing. I think it's good to be like, okay, cool. I know that works for Alex Hormozy. Okay, cool. I know that's working for Tony Robbins. All right, let me try it. And if it works, then cool. I'll keep doing it. If it doesn't, then I'll find something else. But I think life is a big science experiment. You
Yeah.
find something, you test the hypothesis. If it works, you keep going down through the steps. If it doesn't, then you go back to testing another hypothesis. So I would just lead the people with that. Like this is a journey. It is a marathon. It's not a race. So yeah, just focus on being able to keep working 1% each day and providing value to people as much as possible. Because when you start providing value, that's when the money starts coming. So yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I definitely want to leave him with that, man. I appreciate you, man. It's been definitely a good talk. Nice, short, to the point, and succinct. This has been another episode of the Preem Pod, another remote interview. Today we were sitting with the CEO of More Life. Appreciate you, man. If you have any other little tidbits for anybody else, I know you don't want to. I don't want to ruin what you just said, but any other tidbits for the audience as we jump off
No,
here.
you're good, man. Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me, brother. It's been dope. I'm excited to see this. But I think definitely follow us on the gram, TheeMorelifeEE. That is the More Life, TheeMorelifeEE. And then you can check out our website, which is www.wearemorelife. Keep in touch with us. We're a little bit quiet right now, but we got some dope stuff coming out soon. So definitely, yeah, check us out, follow us, show some love. And yeah, to more life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. And we'll definitely be in touch talking soon. And then,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
we signing off. And boom.